For us, kind is about being kind to your body, to your taste buds, and to the world. You'll see how the innovations are part of that story and part of what we believe in. Let's start first with the philosophy of what we're trying to be, because I think the most important thing in marketing is to be true to what you're trying to become and really understand what you brand, and then be true across everything you do. So for us, kind is about being kind to your body, to your taste buds, and to the world. So you'll see how the innovations are part of that story and part of what we believe in. So in our industry, it's very common that people give a product to try. We have the highest conversion rate. We have 98% conversion rate in the industry. The average is 52.5, according to absolute data. So if you give a person one of our products or others, 98% of people will want to eat it again or encourage their friends to eat one, to recommend it. So it's obvious, at least it became obvious once I realized it, that you want to just get as many people to try Kind Bar so they become kindaholics. Let's start first with the philosophy of what we're trying to be, because I think the most important thing in marketing is to be true to what you're trying to become and really understand what you brand, and then be true across everything you do. So for us, kind is about being kind to your body, to your taste buds, and to the world. So you'll see how the innovations are part of that story and part of what we believe in. It's very important to our brand to have enormous integrity and transparency in everything we do. So transparency starts actually with our packaging. You see that it's clear packaging. Every one of our major competitors, when we were introducing the product, had opaque packaging that protected the product from being seen, because it was an emulsion and not a very pleasing looking product. We introduced clear film, and it actually shook the space enough that a number of our competitors actually now have tried to introduce clear film, but their product is still what it was before. It's still an emulsion or a paste. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you should follow your competitors and introduce clear film when the product is not something you want to showcase. If you're our head of a market, I'll give you two priorities. The first one is to challenge me and to challenge the company and challenge all of our assumptions and bring fresh ideas and innovate and question every single thing we're doing and question whether you can bring fresh ideas to the table and not accept any of our assumptions as givens, and just constantly bring fresh ideas, innovate, and question the legacy that we're bringing to the table. For us, what's been very important at Kind is to try to find the balance between maintaining wholesomeness but also making a product convenient. I think there's a lot of challenges in doing that. It's much easier to make something artificial or long-lasting, where it loses the essence of the product. And for us, what we're trying to do, both with our fruit nut bars, with the Kind fruit nut bars, but also with new products that we're launching in the coming months, is to challenge that notion and to try to come up with something that people can recognize, but that takes their taste buds to the next level. One tool that I use when I'm starting a company or an idea or an initiative is to go from the creative process to the skeptic process to the evangelist process, and I think it might serve well anybody that's doing marketing. First, the creative process is you unbound yourself. You don't let any filter constrain you, and where you're in the brainstorming process, you just let your creativity go, and people have different approaches to do that, but the main point is don't let anything stop you. If you're not coming up with truly stupid ideas, you haven't done your creative process sufficiently well. You have to come up with some crazy ideas, with things that make no sense, that everybody's gonna laugh at, because unless you've done that, you probably haven't pushed yourself enough. So first, that creative process. Then you have to enter the skeptic phase, and you have to really question every assumption from both very practical stances of, do we have the resources, can it fit, to thinking about your brand, does it make sense to our brand, does it fit with our brand, to metrics about can it actually drive the needle and make an impact. And you have to be very skeptical. But at one point, once you're 100% comfortable, you can defend it, and I think that you've done all the necessary research and really been thorough, you have to press a switch and you go from skeptic to evangelist. And then in that third process, you can no longer allow anybody to dissuade you from moving forward with your idea. Once you become an evangelist, your job is very different from the prior two phases. It's to own the idea, to champion it, to make it come through, because some of the most worthwhile ideas are very hard to push through, because by the definition, the most disruptive and powerful potential ideas are things that are hard to swallow. So it's going to take a while. It's going to require a lot of work to get them to come to light. It's kind of a cold exercise to just give a person a product to try. And what we try to do is try to turn it into a kind act, so that we create a warmer action with our consumers and encourage them to do something nice after the experience. We have about 70 people doing different kind acts and initiating. We've had over 42,000 kindings reported online from people that received that card and then went on to pass it on and do a kind act for someone. Suddenly you have kind acts happening in China, in India, all over the country. And trying to create a movement, and with that we've played a lot of ways about how to inspire unexpected acts of kindness and how to inspire people to surprise others with kind acts. When we started my first company 16 years ago, there was no word or term social responsibility. We just did something we believed in, and then afterwards we started finding out that we were called social entrepreneurs. I think the key to social responsibility, connecting well with the consumer, is for it to be sincere and authentic, and for you as a CEO or marketing person or a company to identify what really is important to you and to really then try to give life to it. And if you do that, then consumers are going to be able to tell that you're sincere, that you're doing it for the right reasons, and that they're going to look at your history, at your track record, and at the different things you're doing and how you're doing it and how it's consistent across all facets, and it'll be very natural and very obvious. Almost every CEO and almost every marketing person, if they look down, they also have children and they also have families and they also care about the challenge that Matt was mentioning, which are very serious, and they recognize that they have a power to change it. And the question is, how does that get sipped into the company? The best way for it to work is for the business model and the social model to be integrated, so that when you're doing social good and business good, you're advancing one another. If you're able to structure your business model to be at peace with the social model, it's probably the most effective way to for it to be sustainable and credible and real.